Hello, this is Ashee from Crafting with Ashee and welcome to this card making tutorial. This is the fun card I'm making today. It features the Tractor & Co. stamp and die set, and I just love how this card turned out with this little red tractor and all the little corn behind. And I think it's just so cute with the little hen sitting on top of the hay bale on the tractor. So we're going to do another one, though we're going to do a different colourway. We're going to do shaded spruce for our tractor, and you can see here all the different things you can use in the back of your little trailer. You could put trees, pumpkins, the hay bale, so it can work for a variety of different seasons. It can be for autumn, for Halloween, for Christmas, whatever you want. Right, so let's start with some stamping. I'm going to put this on my block and getting my simple chamois ready because we're going to be doing a lot of stamping. So I've got here real red. That was what we used for my initial tractor, but now we're going to do a nice little green one. So we're going to have a matching pair, a green tractor and a red tractor. So that's our tractor, upside down stamped, I know, but doesn't matter. And then I'm going to stamp the trailer in the same colour, also shaded spruce. Now I love this set because my grandparents are farmers, so this is very much close to my heart. And now you can see here I smudged my initial tractor, so I'm going to have to stamp it again. This is why I always say to clean up as you go along, because then you don't get ink, or you try not to get ink everywhere. Obviously I did get ink on my block, and when I put it down on top of my stamped image I smudged everything. So let's do it again. This is why paper has two sides, as I said. One side for the mistake, one side for perfection. Or what I attempt to perfect anyway. The simple chamois is good for cleaning your blocks, as you can see here, as well as your stamp sets. Right, so that is our tractor in shaded spruce. So now I'm getting a smaller block here, and I'm going to stamp my little hen. And this is going to be in real red, because I just love this idea. I love the idea of the red and the green. They are complementary colours on the colour wheel, and I think it looks really good here for this tractor. Right, now I'm going to use basic grey, and we're going to be stamping some wheels for our tractor. So there's that one. There's a large wheel for the front of the tractor, and then I'm going to be stamping 3 small little wheels here. There we go. All in basic grey. Really easy. As you can see, there is a lot of stamping, and of course conversely there will be quite a bit of die cutting to do, but I think the card makes it worthwhile. Now I've got 2 colours here. I've got crushed curry, which is what I'm using here for my hay bale. Give that a good press down there. I like the slightly orange tint to it for my hay. And then I am going to use a little bit more crushed curry for my seat of my tractor, which I decided to do yellow. You could also do that in red. I think that would look super cute as well, but the yellow contrasts nicely too. And now I'm deciding what I'm going to do next. I'm going to do my the leafy part of my no, I'm going to do the heads of my corn. Now this is a very thin stamp, and it can very malleable, so if you just put it down your paper and then pick it up, you'll make sure it's always in the right orientation to die cut. And I'm doing 2 of those, and I'm doing those in Daffodil Delight. So there'll be slightly different yellow to the crushed curry of the hay. Now I am going to do the greenery for my mealies, or for my corn. My mother's from South Africa, and she would always call these mealies. She wouldn't call them corn. It was always mealies. And they grew mealies on the farm as well. So, as I said, this is why this set really spoke to me, because it reminded me of my grandparents, who were long since passed, but it was just a lovely reminder for me. So now we stamped all of that, and I'm going to set that aside to dry before we do any die cutting. I'm going to work on our background here. So I've got a scrap piece here of grid paper, and I'm just folding this in half, as you can see. I'm slotting my card in here, and I'm just going to ink blend the top half with Balmy Blue for the sky, and the bottom half will be with Granny Apple Green for the grass. And I can see here when it was too hard a hand initially, I got all that awful splodging, and I'm not the most patient of people, so you really do need to be patient when you're ink blending and just go in with a light hand and build that colour up gently. And I have to say, sometimes when I'm doing these videos I get impatient, so I have to remind myself to go slowly, and you'll get a much better ink blend than if you just use a hard hand. But that will be fine for the sky. Some of that won't even be seen. So now we're going to do the bottom for the grass, and you can see here I'm using Granny Apple Green. I just wanted a different colour for the grass, something that wasn't so bright as the shaded spruce or the old olive, or as dark as the old olive. So I'm just going with a little bit of Granny Apple Green, and then I'm going to go in with just a tiny bit here of my what do you call this, shaded spruce, just along the edges here, just to give some variation in colour. And yeah, there we go. I like how that looks. Lovely. So let's set that aside, close up our ink pad before we have any more disasters, and I keep spare pieces of grid paper underneath my craft mat. Now we're going to cut this all out using those matching dies. You can see there's a ton of them there, and if by magic of video editing we're going to have all of those dies beautifully cut out, and here they are. I've put them just in this little tub so they don't get lost anywhere. We're going to work on our card base. Our card base is shaded spruce. This is a standard 80s card base. That's an A4 sheet cut in half and then folded in half. And I've got a piece of basic white that I'm putting on the inside here. Now I should say all the measurements and all supply list is listed and linked in the description box below, as well as on my blog, so you can shop everything that I use in this card straight away in my online shop, and you will find all the links down below. Right. Now it's time to assemble our little scene. So I'm just getting myself ready. I'm going to use some dimensionals and some foam strips, and I needed a new pack of dimensionals. And then some things are going to be put down just with glue, some things are going to be popped up with dimensionals. So I'm going to see which one we do here. We're going to use some of our Tombow Mono adhesive here, our liquid glue, and there is the front bit of our tractor, and then we're going to arrange here the back bit somewhere. I'm just eyeballing it roughly where I think I want it to go. Somewhere around there. It'll all look cute, I promise. Right, now our wheels. So I'm going to pop up our wheels on dimensionals, and I'm just going to put a single dimension on each of these wheels. So this just gives them the look of being really big wheels. If you've ever driven past a tractor, some of those wheels are absolutely ginormous. They seem bigger than me, definitely as tall as my car, and I wanted that to be shown by my nice big dimensionals, making it look really nice and big. Right, so now we're going to put our little seat in here. So there we've got our little yellow seat, and I do like how it pops against the green. So next is our hay bale, and I'm going to pop that up on some dimensionals as well, so it nicely looks, so it gives it a little bit of dimension, makes it, try and make it look fluffy as a hay bale is. I'm filming this card, well, this card's going up now beginning of August. I don't know where you are, but certainly where I am, the fields are full of hay bales everywhere. The dry weather that we had through July has helped to make a lot of hay, if nothing else. There is quite a bit of hay, and it's quite nice to see all these little hay bales dotted around the countryside out there to dry before they get wrapped up for the winter. So I've got this other little load of mealies here, and I've got, instead of having the whole string of 5, I've just chopped them in half, and I'm going to have 3 and 2. So don't be afraid to do that with your die cuts if you really want to chop them in half like this, and it works well. So now I've got my little hen, and I'm deciding whether I want it driving the tractor, but I think I like it there on top of the hay bale. Now I've got all of my heads, all my little ears of corn here, so I am just going to all my little heads of wheat, and I want to put a small baby mini dimensional on top of each one, and this will just pop it up against the foliage that we've already stuck down. So I hope you're enjoying this card. If you are, I'd be really grateful if you could give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button to be alerted when I post another video. Let me know if you like videos like this, building a lovely scene. These are one of my favourite types of cards to make. I love it, cards that are stamp heavy and you can build a little scene. And as I said, this one really spoke to me, having a farming background. Right, so little stick down our little heads of corn. Aren't they cute? And I've been having some mealies to eat, some sweet ones that are just grown locally, and they are delicious. Nothing like a new mealie to eat. So sweet, absolutely delicious. Just with some butter and salt, absolutely yum yum. Right, there we go. So that's a little card. So all it needs now is a sentiment. So I'm going to use the sentiments, and these are the greetings for all, I think, sentiments. It's one of our ephemera packs, one of my favourite ephemera packs, because I love it that you get ephemera packs in. I love it that you get these sentiments in white, black on white, and white on black. And I think I'm going to use this one, Sending Sunshine. I'm just deciding where I want to put it, and I think I'm going to have it there on my trailer. And I really love that, because we could all use a bit of sunshine now and again, and I think it just fits with the hay bale being yellow and all the corn. So there you go. There is our little red tractor, and there's a little green tractor. Which one do you prefer? Let me know in the comments below. I love to read your comments. So as I said, if you want to shop any of the items you've seen today, you'll find everything listed and linked below. And thank you again, and until next time, enjoy being creative. Bye.